A new book is collecting the voices of Japanese Americans who were unjustly imprisoned during World War II. Many of the voices come from our Seattle area. The literature of Japanese American incarceration was edited by Frank Abe and Floyd Cheung. And Frank joins me now with more. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Amity.
Thank you for writing. Thank you for collecting these writings. I wanted to ask you first about the Seattle connection. You say 14 of the 64 authors
Yes.
Have a Seattle connection. Tell us about that.
Well, the incarceration experience covered the entire West Coast.
Yeah.
Washington, Oregon, California.
Yeah.
So it's only natural that Seattle writers be represented.
Yeah.
And we have the women, especially.
Mm-hmm.
The voices of the women. There's a woman named Nao Akutsu who had a shoe repair shop in Chinatown on 6th and King. They call it the New Golden Shoe Repair Shop.
Yeah.
And she and her husband operated this New Golden Shoe Repair Shop right where the Red Arches today stand on Hinghey Park.
Oh, yeah.
And her husband was arrested right after Pearl Harbor because he was a business owner and member of the Chamber of Commerce. And he was sent to a Department of Justice camp in Montana. And she wrote a letter begging President Roosevelt to correction. She wrote a letter begging Eleanor Roosevelt, the First Lady, to intercede and bring back her husband. And her letter, which I found in her husband's editing the alien file, contained the words, "Send back the father of these American citizens," and just pleading for some help. He'd been gone for almost 2 years, separated from the family. And the letter may have worked because eventually he came back to her in Minidoka. But then soon after he came back, her two sons refused to be drafted from the camp at Minidoka, Jim and Gina Akutsu. And Jim Akutsu later became the model for Seattle novelist John Okada's novel called No Boy.
Yes.
Very famous novel.
Yes.
Yeah. But this is her letter. And this just represents the kind of literature that Penguin Classics is an amazing series that they democratized quality literature by making paperbacks affordable, and they have anthologies that contextualize important historical periods for a modern audience. And when we had the opportunity to do this for them, I asked my collaborator Floyd Cheung of Smith College in Massachusetts, so what is literature? And he said, well, it could be the fine writing, the well-known novels and short stories we know, but it could also be any writing from camp.
Right.
And so this opened up letters, memoirs, essays.
Yeah.
And for 40 years, Amity, I've had this stuff. I've been dragging this stuff around from home to home, city to city. Books I've collected, files I've collected for my research in filmmaking and other books. And this was a chance to kind of finally slot them all into place. The book is organized chronologically so that readers can understand the arc of the camp experience from start to finish, from immigration to exclusion to all the indignities that happen inside the camps, and then resettlement, and then redress, which was led here in Seattle, and bringing us to the present day when we see history being repeated in many ways.
I feel like it is very immersive in that way. You really feel like you are immersed in that moment in the book. I mean, you even have the notices that were posted, and the thing, and it really takes you back and think, this happened. This was happening. Why was it so important that you collected this for so many years and decided, I need to share this?
When I was young and wanted to be a writer, I needed a subject. And when I was introduced to, two incidents in my life helped formulate my interest. One was being present at the start of Asian American literature in San Francisco, Sean Wong, Frank Chin, and the IE boys. And then in Seattle in '78, meeting the Nisei, second generation here in Seattle, who were then beginning the campaign for creating the language for redress and reparations, justice for the camps. Just the ability to say the camps were wrong and the government needs to apologize and make some meaningful reparation. Those guys here in Seattle JSCL, really opened my eyes to this history, and I've been collecting it ever since.
It's so beautiful. I have to put the book down because I get immersed in it just sitting here talking to you.
Well, I got the book a couple weeks ago, and just seeing how the stories fit together, flow together. They have 64 different backgrounds and experiences, but we selected pieces that didn't just feel sorry for themselves, but contested their experience and pushed back a little bit against the government.
Yeah.
So there is a consistency in tone to the selections, and when you flip through it, it flows from page to page with a collective voice, a singular voice that represents the experience of the authentic voice of the community.
And it's beautiful through poetry, through the letters, through everything. Thank you so much for sharing your life's work with us.
Yes, thank you.
For sharing it with everyone who gets their hands on it. I really hope it makes its mark throughout our schools as well.
Teachers have said, we need a book like this.
We need a book like this.
And it fits right in.
Thank you so much, Frank. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Amity.
And just a reminder, Frank is holding an author event tomorrow night, Thursday, May 16th at 7 p.m. at the Elliott Bay Book Company. Be there.